I teach you a financial topic, and then I give you strategies you can use at home in order to implement this same education at home using everyday tools and resources that are at your disposal. Today, we'll be discussing why people invest, the 4 main reasons why people invest, and stay tuned to the very end of this video so you can learn about the strategies that you can be using at home in order to teach your child about investing. Welcome everyone, I'm Savvy Whitney, your certified financial education instructor, your financial coach, and I give you everyday strategies that you can use at home in order to teach financial literacy at home using everyday tools and resources that are at your disposal. Let's get started. So before we get into why people invest, we're going to go over 3 important vocabulary words that we must internalize ourselves before we can then teach this lesson. With that being said, if you see me look down for a second, I am looking at the curriculum in front of me. We use here at Diapers to Deposits, we use a curriculum for our financial literacy courses, our financial field trips. Also, when our coaches do one-on-one coaching, we use the same curriculum across the board. We want to deliver the same message regardless of what part of the program you choose for yourself. The first thing is inflation, an ongoing rise in the cost of goods and services. So now that we know what inflation is as adults, we would just basically break this down to our kids. Instead of saying an ongoing rise in the cost of goods and services, just let them know the price went up. Let's keep it simple for our kids. We don't want this to be overly complicated. And I think that's why financial literacy is such a sensitive topic, right? And this is why many parents want the schools to teach it, because they didn't teach it to us. And when they didn't teach it to us, it's hard to then turn around and teach this subject to your teen. Our second vocabulary word is net worth. A measure of one's economic position calculated by subtracting liabilities from assets. If we were discussing this topic with our college student and or teen young adult, we would explain to them that if they purchased a car for $25,000 and they had $30,000 in savings, and we know most teens don't have $30,000 in savings, nor do college students. However, for the sake of explaining what net worth is to them, explain to them that if they had $30,000 in their savings and they had a $25,000 car, the net worth currently at that moment is $5,000. Their liability is the car, their asset is the savings. $5,000 when you subtract the 2 is what you get for your net worth. Now, let's say they decided to sell the car and they had the $30,000 in there. Their net worth then becomes that $30,000 because they don't owe any debt. Okay, so that is our net worth, and that's how we explain it to our college students, our teens, and our young adults. Our last vocabulary word is investing. Investing, putting money to use by expending it into something that offers a potential return. The key word here is potential. We have to over-explain to our teens, our young adults, that when they invest, they do run the risk of potentially losing all of their money or potentially getting a return. So that means if they purchase stock in a particular company and that company does well and stays around for years to come, they're very likely to get a return on their investment. Why do people invest? These are the 4 things we're going to teach our kids today. 1, for financial security. Many people will invest because they want to be financially secure, and investing offers that potential to them. They want to be able to afford the things that they want without having to worry about a bunch of bills. With that being said, investing has the potential to afford you the financial security that you need into adulthood. The second thing is lifestyle. Many of us want to live a certain lifestyle, and in order to do so, we must be able to, 1, afford that lifestyle. One way we can afford that lifestyle is through investing. The ability to have money work for you instead of you having to work for every single dollar. So when we explain this to our teens, remind them that in order to have the lifestyle that they want, some of their money is going to have to work for them, so that way they're not using all of their time working for money. The third reason is retirement. People invest so that way they can be comfortable in retirement. So how do you explain this to your teen or young adult? You want to explain to them that there's a program that currently exists, which is the Social Security program, and it is set to run out and or go bankrupt by 2033. This means that the distributions that most people are used to getting after 65 currently are going to either be drastically reduced or not going to be there by the time our students or our children grow up. With that being said, they need to have their own plan in place, whether that be a traditional IRA, Roth IRA. They need to have their own plan in place and take that money early on and begin investing it, even if it's just small amounts. Just to recap, why people invest: retirement, financial security, and lifestyle. The fourth reason, to beat inflation. Okay, so this was a little tricky. In order to beat inflation, we have to first know the rate to which goods and services rise every year. That rate is 4%. Then we have to understand that when we set up our investment accounts, that we set it up with a diversified portfolio. If you're earning 6% in your portfolio and inflation is going up by 4%, then you are beating inflation. That means your money is growing faster than the rate of inflation every year. Now, how do you explain this to your team? We basically want to explain to them that their money is working harder than the rise of the current prices. That's all we want to tell them. We want to keep it simple. The biggest problem with financial literacy or financial education is that there's so much information out there that it's so important to keep it simple. So in order to keep it simple, explain to your teen that they want their investment account or their money working harder than the rise of goods and services. Financial security, lifestyle, retirement to beat inflation. How do we show these strategies and teach this lesson at home? In order to teach financial security at a time when your child is asking to borrow money from you, or they want money, or they want to purchase something, even if it's only $1, $2, $3, $5, $10, $20, your ability to give it to them in that moment means you've set up some form of financial security in your home. With that being said, use that very moment to have a full-on discussion about today's topic when you're talking to them. Tell them this is what financial security looks like. The ability that when something out of budget comes up, you yourself have it without having to tap into your savings or it costing you your arm and your leg, right? So financial security, in order to teach financial security at home, use a time when your young adult, your teen, or your child comes and borrow money from you. Second, lifestyle. In order to teach a strategy at home, use a vacation, use a getaway, or any luxury at home. If there's a luxury at home, then use that and let them know that this lifestyle is being afforded to them because you were disciplined and you are disciplined over your money, which is why you can afford them this lifestyle. And in order for them to maintain their own lifestyle in adulthood, they too must remain disciplined over their money and make good investments. Retirement. This one's a little harder to do, and this is why we do financial field trips here at Diapers to Deposits. But the best suggestion would be to either go visit grandma and grandpa and have them discuss what it looks like in retirement and whether they think they have enough money saved up or if they should have saved more money. Grandma and grandpa of course, they have a lot of wisdom. Talk to them. If they're around, if they're not around, pick any senior citizen in your community. Last part, beat inflation. Okay, this was a little harder, but the easiest thing to probably do would be to look at the price of goods and services from back in 2020 to today, 2023, but then look at a Roth IRA and do a calculation from 2020 to 2023. So use a calculator on the internet for the Roth and then check to do your research in regards to how much prices have gone up, and then look at how much someone's money has grown in 3 years versus how much prices have grown in 3 years. And then that's how we can teach this last one at home using everyday tools and resources without it costing us a ton of money. Again, I'm Savvy Whitney, your certified financial education instructor. Thank you for tuning in with us. We hope you find these strategies super helpful. And if you do, leave us a comment below. We look forward to hearing from you.